Hello everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to talk about a couple of tarot books that are a bit different in case people out there are looking for something a bit more unlike what's normally around. The first book is called Tarot for Life and it's written by Quinn, and this book is really worth considering because it's got a different and fresh approach to tarot. It's got a foreword by Rachel Pollack, so that's worth taking notice of on its own. What I really like about this book is that it's a great book not only for someone new to tarot, but for someone who's been working with the tarot for quite a while and would just like a new perspective or something different. He covers the major arcana cards and includes some journal prompts after each one. And for the minor arcana, he's got some anecdotal stories after each minor arcana card as well. There's also some tarot spreads towards the back of the book. This one is published by Quest Books, and this book really got my attention when it came out a few years ago. It's not talked about very often, and that's the other reason why I thought I'd let people know about it. But because I have read so many tarot books, this one really got my attention because it was, and it is, such a fresh approach. And it's just a great approach to the tarot and quite an original approach. It's quite an accessible book. As I was saying, you could be reasonably new to tarot and be able to work with this book and get a pretty good understanding of tarot. But it's also good for people, as I said, who have been using tarot for quite a while and just want a different and original approach. So that's Tarot for Life by Quinn, and I'll put the details under the video. And the next book is quite different to the first book, but I'm mentioning this second book also because it's not seen around or reviewed very often. This next book is more of an intermediate standard. It's actually published by Llewellyn, and I know Llewellyn very often do 101 type of books. This one is a little bit more like a 303 level. I don't want to say advanced, but I think you need to be someone who has been working with the tarot for quite a while before you look at this next one. It is set out in the form of a tarot course, but you don't have to think of it like that. This next one is called Tarot Theory and Practice by Lee DeAngelis. And again, it's a very original approach. What got my attention with this book when it came out a few years ago is she spends the first two chapters in the book basically describing in her way how tarot actually works. And she uses a quantum physics approach. It's a bit like describing metaphysics in a quantum physics way, and I find that really interesting. It's not as hard as it sounds because she explains it really well, but it's just a great approach and a great idea to think about, describing how tarot works in that way using a quantum physics comparison. So it's quite good. And there's also some tarot and Kabbalah in here, which is good as well. I don't agree with all of her astrological attributions for each of the Kabbalah Sephira, but it is still a really good book for describing what Kabbalah is and how it works with tarot. And she's got some tarot spreads in here as well. That's up towards the back of the book, and she raises quite a few issues as well about working as a tarot reader and the kinds of issues that come up. And it's just such a thorough book, and again, a very original approach. And she's got tarot meanings in here as well, but I find her tarot meanings are a little bit fatalistic. Some of them are okay, but you don't have to take too much notice of the tarot meanings. She just gives a bit of a run through of tarot meanings. It's illustrated with the original Llewellyn Tarot that came out. So that's the Hierophant, I think, on the cover. So that's Tarot Theory and Practice by Lee DeAngelis, and I'll put the details at the bottom of the video. And it really is theory and practice. About the first half of the book is what she calls theory, which is all of her background information to tarot. There is very little tarot history in here, and some people might prefer that and like that, but the theory part is very good. And then there is the practice part, which is the practical part to do with being a tarot reader or just practicing the practice of using tarot and what to take into consideration with that. That's published by Llewellyn, as I was saying. So they're two books that I wanted to let people know about. They're both still available because they both have different and original approaches, and they're not so much like a lot of tarot books that are out there that are all quite similar, because these are quite different but have an original approach. I think they're two tarot books that are really worth considering and thinking about reading and buying. They are really worthwhile to have in your collection, and it's good, I think, to know about some tarot books that have a different approach and are not all the same, especially when you may have quite a few tarot books in your collection, like I do. So I like to look out for something different. And as I was saying, both two different books in approach. Tarot for Life is one for beginner to intermediate. The second one is more of an intermediate and beyond level. So I thought I'd let you all know about that. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.